We are live, the Handy Twins!
Yay!
That's what we have called ourselves in the past. If you're unfamiliar, my last name is Hand.
And mine used to be.
She's married now. So, we're coming at you because maybe you are a little overwhelmed right now.
Slightly, I'm sure.
And we just thought, let's offer a little hope and encouragement, some laughter, and some tips.
Some tips?
Yeah, so... That was some tips. There's nothing like the Handy Twins, guys, so get ready for some encouragement. We might. So we know right now, as you scroll through your social media, this is an overwhelming time. So we want
turn
you to
it
join
off
us.
after this. Just turn it off.
We want to bring some hope as the executive director of Coming Alive Ministries, which really means I work from home all the time, so except for I have a line item for coffee shops.
But not for now.
Not for now. I feel like such a responsibility right now to bring some hope and encouragement in this very unseen time. Unsteady, all the uns, right? And so Michelle and I are coming at you. Michelle may or may not be at the time where groups of 10, are less, and her family itself is 6.
So we're getting to, if they start moving the group smaller, we may be farming out some kids.
So we want to come by with just some encouragement today. We're going to start with for the mamas out there, I'm not a mom, I'm the aunt.
The most wonderful aunt.
Look, I set that up so good. I was waiting.
She was waiting for me to say.
I like how she read.
Let's just be honest. Free babysitting.
I do keep your children alive, all 4 of them.
Yes.
So, but what I love about my sister, and so she became a homeschool mom overnight, which was not in our plans. All different ages, including a 1-year-old, right? Any new homeschool mamas out there? But we're going to offer some tips for you because my sister does this really cool thing. A lot of people ask her if she's a homeschool mom.
But I'm not until now. Now I am.
But she does this really cool thing with her kids in the summer and on breaks called theme weeks. And don't think Pinterest, right?
Definitely not Pinterest.
Because is there anything Pinterest about the Handy Twins?
No, obviously not.
Although I do feel trendy with my holes in my jeans right now.
I have on green.
Okay. I told you might need a little help. Just a shout out too. I'm wearing green, my greenhouse shirt for my church, and these green earrings from Project Free to Fly. Friends, support your small business, friends. Project Free to Fly, check it out.
And tied to your church.
And tied to your church, the greenhouse. That's her. That's her husband.
My husband happens to be the full-time pastor, so
they want to keep eating.
Yes, we do like to.
But yeah, check out Project Free to Fly. But my sister is going to offer some ideas for you about theme week that you could do with your kids. And then she has a group that is for theme week she's going to set up, or is set up, or...
It is set up. I've just never used it before.
She's not real good on the socials. She's not real big on the social media. We can't read your comments, by the way, but we see you. And in fact, we have drawings right now.
We're giving away something.
I'm giving away this. I have 3 copies of this book. I will socially distance myself to the post office and send it to you this week. It's by Sarah Haggerty. Thanks to Zondervan Publishing for sending it to me. It's called Adore, a Simple Practice for Experiencing God in the Middle Moments of Your Day. So the last person that commented, my friends will tell me who it was, gets this first copy. The other friends in here. I have friends in the room.
No, we don't. We're social distancing.
I mean, they're all 6 feet away except for us. We shared a womb.
We did.
Renee Todd Hickman.
Renee Hickman! Yay! Okay, we're sending you a copy, guys.
Yay!
Stay tuned. We're giving away 5 more books total.
Woo! I didn't even know there was giveaways today.
So
This
stay
is
tuned.
exciting.
Share with your friends. You just need some joy today. But so Renee will make sure to get that. My friend wrote down because she knows I'll forget who won. So, let's be honest. And she'll remind me to send it. Okay, so Michelle is going to share some ideas with you about how to have fun activities with your kids in a time where you can't really go many places, and a time where you may or may not.
There's a lot of time in the day.
Yes,
A lot of time in the day when you have a lot of children running around.
A lot of children, yes. So, go ahead.
Okay, well, I am excited, and actually probably the easiest way to do this, I think we're gonna write all these ideas down for you and link them to Jenn's blog.
And we're gonna write, let me tell you about Michelle's typing. I love her. She does know how to type, but she doesn't have a laptop.
I love our children.
She doesn't put punctuation or capitalization on anything, so it's all one big run-on sentence.
Okay, so Jenn is going going to type up the ideas for you. And she'll put it on her website. And also, I'll be posting on my Facebook page pictures of it so you can...
On the group she started that she's never done
No,
anything
I'm
with.
just going to do it on my Facebook page. So if you want to see actual pictures of us doing these things, then either follow me on Instagram at Humbert Fun.
Humbert Fun. We'll put that later.
Or you can follow me just on Facebook, and I'll be putting pictures of what we do.
So tell us about the theme weeks.
Okay, so now normally when I do theme weeks, they do not have an educational component because I'm not a homeschool mom. But all of a sudden I am. So some of
Didn't mention she has 4 kids.
So I have a 1-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and an 11-year-old. So some of these ideas you can turn into educational ideas if you would like. But that is not my focus because, I'm all new to this homeschool thing. So my focus is free activities that you can do with your kids to teach them about Jesus. Now, I'm not talking about sitting down for a long devotion. These are just activities.
Some of our kids did not sit down long.
No, they don't. So, and what I'm also going to give you ideas for is just 1 week of a theme to focus on and activities you can do that anyone from a 1-year-old to an 11-year-old can enjoy because that's what I have at my house.
Isn't she amazing, friends?
And if
not everyone has this wisdom available to them, but tonight you
for free, guys, free.
Speaking of free, before you get into it, let's give away another one. We
We
have 3 copies of this book that Zondervan Publishing gave me. Sarah Haggerty's new book, Adore, coming out. So because I have a podcast, Coming Alive Conversations, where I get to interview amazing authors, check out Coming Alive Conversations. It's free right now. Also free all the time.
Free is good.
Free all the time.
It's not. It's always free.
It's always free, but let's be honest. Now you're home, so listen to it. But we're gonna give this away to the last person who commented, unless it's Renee.
Brooke Panel.
Brooke! Yay!
Oh, I was like, I don't know that name.
It's
Okay,
Brooke.
but it's Brooke.
Hey,
Okay.
Brooke. Yay, Brooke, you
Yay.
won a book.
So we will make sure you get that. Yay.
Okay, so for the activities, I'm going to make this simple, cheap, and let me just be real with y'all. At least in the Humbert household, this does not look Pinterest worthy, and you cannot expect your kids to always want to do these activities with a good attitude and for everyone to be on board and all sitting and excited. So just throw those expectations out the window. And my single friend behind the camera is laughing at me because he knows my children. So just know.
And let's be honest, we've thrown all expectations about anything out the window.
So hold your plans loosely and just be gracious with your kids and make it fun whether or not you think they're absorbing, because maybe later on they will remind you that they actually got what you were talking about. So there's 2 things.
If you're just joining, tips for what you can do. Tips for what you can do as a parent right now with your kids. My sister here is a parent of a lot of children, and she's amazing at it. So here's some tips, and stay tuned, stay till the end, because we have more giveaways and some words of encouragement.
For if you're not a mom. So yeah.
Because I'm not a mom, I get to just feed the kids sugar and send them home.
Okay, so there's 2 things we're going to focus on this week, and then I'm going to do a Facebook Live next week as well with some ideas for
And
next
I'll share
week.
it on my page.
Okay, so today there's 2 things we're going to focus on that I'm focusing on with my kids, and the first is a verse in the Old Testament, so Isaiah 43, 1 and 2. And I'm teaching the kids to memorize this, and it also encourages me. And your kids may not be afraid right now because of the virus, or they may be. I have some kids right now that are super anxious. They heard some things at school maybe, and they're just scared, like what's going to happen. Their routine has been taken away, their friends. So, but you may have young kids that aren't afraid of the virus or don't even know about the virus. And either way, you can teach them these verses about fear. So it says, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And the version I'm teaching, when you pass through the waters or the waves, I will be with you, and the waves will not overcome you.
Woo! Can we just pause? I feel like there needs to be organ music in the background.
Oh, I'm waiting.
Okay. That was my
okay,
no, it's not an organ. You take organ lessons. You should know.
I should. So these are some simple ideas for you. So first of all, if they're old enough to write, then have them write their name with if they like markers or they like paint, pull out all the craft supplies you have and let them
You
write.
gonna do this too?
Let them write their name, and then design it, color it. If you have shaving cream, put a bunch on a cookie tray and let them write their name in the shaving cream, and then they can mix it all up and write everybody's name in the family, so they're playing in that shaving cream. And if you have sidewalk chalk, then go outside and write everybody's name you can think of, and then so they can do that. Or you can find magazines where they cut out letters of their name, and then they can cut out all these pictures that remind them of things they like that describe them. So you can do that, and talk about that this Bible verse says you don't have to be afraid because God knows your name, and He loves you, and He knows who you are specifically, no matter how little or big you are. And so you write their name, you decorate their name. If you happen to have some alphabet beads laying around from somewhere, you make a name bracelet or a necklace. I'm sure I have things such as these because I have children. Okay, you don't have to do these activities. So.
Like you just happen to have some alphabet beads.
So all that. So you're going to focus on their name, and then you're going to talk about that with them, that God knows their name and that they are His. So even when they write their name and decorate it, then you can write in big letters "mine" over top of it and talk about Jesus, and then you can display that name around. So for older kids, you can have them, because they like to use the internet, you can have them Google what their name means. You can have them find out what their name sounds like in other languages, and you can practice saying that. And then all that time that you're talking about their name, you're telling them, fear not, because God has called you by name.
And that's Isaiah 43, 1 and 2, if you're just tuning in.
So that's a great way with your kids. Like, let them know they are His. And then when it says, I have called you by name, one thing you could do is have them call a friend. Like, I'm thinking of things that my 11-year-old would like. Or let him call his friend on Fortnite and play with him. And talk about how happy they are to call someone.
Isn't she a good mom, guys?
To call someone and talk to someone that they care about and love by name. And then God knows your name, and He's so excited to call you by name. He knows you, and He loves you, and gets excited to talk to you. So that's another thing you can do.
I love it. You know what? You could do that as a non-mom.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get crafty with your name. You can look up the meaning of your name. You can remind yourself He has called you by name as well.
Yes.
You can call a friend.
I like to collage. You can collage.
Yeah, just He has called you by name. Even in this time when you may feel there's lots of uncertainty, and there is, and there's lots of confusion, and there's lots of fear floating around, He has called you by name as well. So don't just do this with your kids. You yourself. I don't have alphabet beads lying around, to be honest.
But some Pinterest moms do, I promise you.
Speaking of call by name, listen, we're all so bad about the not touching our face.
I know.
Breaking all the rules.
Yes.
Call by name, I want to tell you about this book, Brave as a Girl Can Be, by my friend Deb Brown, an amazing friend of mine. Amazing book resource, and it's Let Go of the Fear Cycle and Live Free. And I imagine some of you feel stuck on the fear cycle right now. So tonight, we're giving away 3 copies of this book. Thank you, Deb. I mean, the words in here are so powerful and reminder of how we live free in the middle of a time of fear. So, the last person to comment
is Tracy Signer.
I don't even know who that is. How
Tracy!
I don't think. Maybe it'll come back to me if I do know you. But
you probably do, and then you're going to
I know. Then we're probably best friends since 3rd grade. Just edit out. Tracy.
This is live. Okay. So I have a few more ideas.
A few more of those.
Okay, so also on the name thing, He's called you by name. If you have a large family such as mine, then you may play Red Rover outside and divide into, teams and say
who gets the 1-year-old?
Red Rover, send, and say their name and talk about how, again, He has called you by name as they plow into each other.
It's a great spiritual truth.
If you only have one kid at home, you can play the game Marco Polo like you play in the pool, except you play it inside or outside, and you blindfold them, and they say their name, and the other person has to say mine. So let's practice. Like, I'll close my eyes, and I'll be like, Michelle.
Mine.
Michelle. Mine. And then I find you, and I tag you.
What was that movie where they said mine? Was that a movie?
Finding Dory?
I think so. Or we just make this up all together.
So that's another idea for
We should not let us go unplugged, right?
Okay, I don't want to overwhelm, but I have a few more ideas for this week. Okay, so also it says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and the waves shall not overcome you. So one thing we did this week is we got a blanket, which happened to be blue. If you don't have a blue one, that's okay, to signify the ocean, and we all got on different corners of it and made waves by lifting it up and down, and we kept balls going, like the parachute game when you're younger. We tried to keep the balls on the parachute, or we would lift it up and try to go under it, and we talked about how the waves will not overcome you, and then we talked about going to the ocean, and if there's a big wave that comes over and knocks you down, how it's hard to get back up, but God promises the wave, no matter how scary it is right now, the waves are not going to push us down and overcome us.
So look, I love it.
Okay, if you have a life jacket at home, then you can do relay races with that. So if you have a large family such as mine, you divide into teams. And
I just keep asking who gets the 1-year-old.
He just kind of toddles along.
He can hold his own.
He can. So you race, you get the life jacket, put it on, race back. If you have 2, you race each other. Or if there's only a family of like 1 or 2, then a little one, like if you have a 2-year-old, tell him to go get the life jacket, bring it to mommy and daddy, time you how fast you can put it on, and it's just a fun little relay to talk about how God is our life jacket. He keeps us above the waves.
She is so good. Look at this. This is my sister.
And if
And
you
she
have,
shared with you.
Okay, so we're going to quit with that. I've got too many ideas. Okay. The other scripture from...
Okay, before we do that.
Okay.
We're pausing.
Sorry, I'm getting pumped up.
If you're just catching up with us, Michelle here, my dear twin, in case you couldn't tell, we were roommates. We're not practicing social distancing right now, but it's because we can't both fit in the camera if we're 6 feet apart from each other. So, but Michelle has some great ideas for you and your family, non-Pinterest worthy. Just do it. You don't require a lot of supplies, maybe some alphabet beats.
You don't even have to have those. We don't have those.
And we're reminding those kids, and you as adults that are watching, if you're not a mama, and whoever you happen to be, wherever you are, Isaiah 43, that God is with you. He's called you by name, you are His. And to celebrate that you're on with us right now, we're giving away copies of Brave as a Girl Can Be, my friend Deb Brown's book.
Yay!
And I encourage you, if you don't win this book, to go on to Amazon right now. You can order the ebook and read it. You are in quarantine, I'm sure. Read it. It's a great time to find out how to get off the fear cycle into faith. So check that out. We'll put links later. I'm not fancy enough to have 10,000 followers. Swipe up. So just pretend. Okay, so the last person who commented gets this.
Shayla Ingram.
Yay!
Come on down.
Yay, Shayla. Yay, friend. I'll be sending you a copy of Deb Brown's book. Yay.
Yay! Okay, I'm almost...
And I have 3 signed copies.
Yay!
That were pre-given for such a time as this. They have been on my bookshelf waiting for you.
That sounds very spiritual.
Now, my copy I'm not giving because I have highlighted every word. And
Oh, we love you, Deb.
so, okay. Michelle.
Okay, so I'm not to overwhelm. And if you want more ideas, private message me on Facebook and I can give you more because my brain works a million miles a minute this way. But the other thing we're going to focus on this week, in addition to that, is from the New Testament. It's Matthew chapter 8, verse 23 through 27, when Jesus calms a storm. Because I feel like, again, everything seems out of whack and chaotic and scary to kids. They don't get to go to school. They know that things are weird and they're scared. So we want to tell them about the disciples who were afraid and Jesus calmed the storm. And there's so many things you can do with this. If you have older kids, like Alex's, my 11-year-old's age, then you can Google how to build a paper boat. And then you can also help younger ones. So you build a paper boat, and then just to keep them entertained, you put it in like a little basin of water or in the bathtub, and if you have more than one kid, or if you build one and they build one, then you have races, and you blow with a straw to get it to the other side. So that you can do that. I love that you're so...
I'm so this is my sister. She's brilliant.
Okay.
She's a brilliant twin, guys.
For the younger kids, if you have paper plates, a stapler, and some dried beans, which I know you all have dried beans.
Well, listen, you might want to ration those because I went to Walmart today and there were no beans. So.
Okay, well, you can still eat with them afterwards because you cook them.
If desperate times.
Okay, well, you can still eat with them, but for a second, put them in some paper plates, staple the plates together, and you shake it, and it makes a storm. So you start out with just like a small little shaky, and then make a big storm. And then we can practice taking turns being Jesus and saying, shh, calm the storm and stop. So make it as loud as you can and then stop. And then you talk about how Jesus calmed the storm and made it still.
You are a camp counselor for life. Do you not? I feel like this is camp counselor for life.
I was made for such a time as this. Okay. Then the other thing you can do, he was sleeping and they went and woke him up. So this is just a silly, fun thing for the kids to look forward to. You can have a sleepover in the living room and grab all your pillows and your blankets and have everybody lay down and say, Jesus was laying down asleep when the storm.
That's a way to trick him into nap time right there. That's what she's doing. Like, let's have a family nap.
Family sleepover. So that's something you can do. And again, they were afraid of the waves and he was not. So you can go back to some of the old activities. You can draw a boat and draw Jesus, and you can cut out Jesus and put him in the boat. You can what else? You can turn the lights on and off, and make the noise with the thunder to make a storm, and then practice saying, shh, peace, be still. And also for my older ones, because Alex, let's be honest, some of these things he goes along with just to be nice, but he's really into the video game Fortnite. And you can actually create your own worlds in Fortnite. So you can have him, I'm going to have him create an ocean world, and then talk about how the bad guys are all coming, but he has all the weapons he needs to protect himself from them, just like Jesus protected in the boat. So you can make it cool, and you can also Google videos of waves, like the world's biggest wave or tsunami waves, and watch and talk about how even in those big waves, God can keep you safe. So those are just some ideas for this week.
Next week we'll do it again. You can tell she is a camp counselor.
Sorry, I will
rein
my enthusiasm in.
No, I love it. I mean, I feel like we all should applaud.
Thanks.
No, that is so good. So if you're just joining in, be sure to watch the replay. I would love it if you would share this with your friends. I mean, what else are you going to do right now? Come on.
This is happy news, guys.
For such a time as this, right? So Michelle, tell them about the giveaway here.
We're giving away copies of Deb Brown's Brave.
Her husband's name is
Brave as a Girl Can Be, and it's a great, encouraging book about how to be have faith and not fear. So.
Yes, and which it's also available on Amazon. If you don't win, do not fear. You can order your own copy right now. So let's see who does win. However,
winner is Freedom Robinson.
Freedom Robinson.
Freedom
Come on down.
All right, we'll make sure to message you and get your info. Because
and if you have kids, or if you know people that have kids that may not have access to my Facebook or Jenn's and wouldn't have watched this, please share this video, because I really want you to know how you can. My kids aren't going to get to go to church maybe for a very long time because we're a church plant that meets at a school. So I want my kids to be engaging with the Bible in fun ways, and you may want to too, and you may not feel adequate to do that. So please share this, and also in the comments, I'm going to put a video of me really doing this so you can see there's a baby crying and there's kids not wanting to cooperate, and you just do it anyway.
So guys, we won't keep you much longer, but we just wanted to come on as the handy twins here. Really, I just wanted my brilliant sister to offer you some encouragement.
Really, I like that.
If nothing else, you guys just needed to see us laugh together, because it is creepy when we really...
Just...
That's all I...
Stop.
Stop. It's a very serious time in the world, but we still need hope, and we still have a God who has not changed. And I just want to encourage you with two scriptures. Two scriptures. In this book, Deb talks about 2 Chronicles 20, which is where Jehoshaphat is up against a great big army. And right now, you may not be up against a physical army, but you're up against an unknown, a lot of fear, finances are being impacted. Everything. Let's just be real. Everything's being impacted.
You can't even go inside Starbucks anymore.
I know. Listen, luckily we didn't know that it was about to shut down, and we got some Starbucks on our birthday. Mm-hmm. It's weird to have a birthday during a pandemic. Can I tell you that? So, especially because Michelle's family's so big, we couldn't really even all get together. But here's what 2 Chronicles 20 says, and I'll leave you with this. Jehoshaphat was like, Lord, what are we going to do? And he's praying, and he says, I am powerless against this great horde, which can we say? We are powerless against this great unknown, this great virus on our own. He says, that is coming against us. He said, we do not know what to do. How many of you have felt that way this week? Down to the littlest decisions.
I've never been a homeschooler.
Homeschool mom. Her husband's a pastor. Pray for your pastors that are having to make hard decisions that there's no guidebook or rule book for. I mean, the only thing I know that's ever closed down for sickness is schools, occasionally for the flu, very rarely. They didn't do that back in our day. So it's all unprecedented. And so you have felt this way this week. I do not know what to do, but, well, here's the key. I do not know what to do, but my eyes are on you. And it's so easy for me, for you, for all of us to get sucked in. Our eyes are on social media, on the latest news story. I'm not saying don't be informed, but you can get sucked into that. And then your eyes get onto the unknowns and the what ifs. I mean, I am a speaker for a living, and all of speaking is getting canceled everywhere. You know, it can be easy to, whatever your thing is, whatever you're a homeschool mom now, and a pastor's wife in the middle of all this. And so, to encourage you, you may not know what to do, but let's keep our eyes on Him. And then God, He goes on to say, do not be afraid and do not be dismayed at this great horde, this great virus, this great battle. For the battle is not yours, but it's God's.
Woo!
I mean,
I'm a clapper. I'm sorry. Sorry, it's clapper.
No sorry there. I love it. So if you are just popping in, be sure, I know you've got time on your hands, go back and watch Michelle's suggestions. If you aren't a mom, send this to a mom that you know. Thank you. At Coming Alive Ministries, we want to provide encouragement and excitement and hope in the middle of a very unknown, horrible, can we just go ahead and say, time for the world. The world has stopped. But you know what hasn't stopped is God working behind the scenes. And so we would love to know how to pray for you.
Yes.
Message me if you are discouraged, if you're afraid, if I can minister to you in some way, if you want Michelle's notes, all the things. And lastly, we have one more copy of Deb's book.
Yay!
We'll get all your information. I will somehow get to the post office and get this to you. Brave as a Girl Can Be, also available on Amazon. It's amazing. It's super readable, super transparent, written from someone who comes alongside of you, doesn't look above you and say, do not fear, but it says, hey, I have walked in fear. Here's who walks with us. The God who says, you may not know what to do, but my eyes are on you. So, brave as a girl can be, letting go of the fear cycle and live, let's go of the fear cycle and live free. So,
Our final winner is Sharon Belva.
Sharon! So
Hey,
good!
she was our typing teacher,
Yes.
and you just said I was not a good typer.
Well, on her
I
phone.
am a good typer, Sharon, just not on the phone.
On the phone, she's a terrible typer.
Yeah.
Yay, Sharon! Sharon also led us to the Lord. So how cool
That
is
is
that?
so cool.
I love it.
We're
So
going to have a moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I will send you that book, Sharon. Super excited that you were here. So we love you guys. Thank you for joining us on our live today.
We'll see you next time.